All right, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Builder Photography Business Show. And this is where I help photographers like you with photography, pricing, and marketing. And today in our show, we are joined by a special guest. Let me just bring up the screen here. We've got Matt Banton here to chat about how to create and manage your Sky library. We have also got a free giveaway. So one person on the live show is going to win a 27.5 gigabyte library of Sky images. So they're raw Sky images of daytime and twilight shots. So that is pretty cool. That's thanks to Matt. And then we're going to finish off with a Q&A section. If you do have any questions about what we covered today or anything else at all, welcome to drop a comment in then. All right, let's get into a little bit of this. All right, so we've got Matt here today. Let me just bring him in here. There we go. Hey, Matt, how are you going?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show.
Awesome, very good that you could be here. All right, so Matt, let's have a chat then about managing and creating Sky images. Where would you start? What do you do to get your Sky library going?
I'll share my screen. I've got a few slides to go through that might help. So
sure.
This is just to cover kind of, my process I've put together over the years, just of how I've built my own library and some tips and tricks that may help. So first, it's good to kind of understand cloud structure, or cloud, should I say, in general. There's kind of 3 different types. There's low altitude clouds, medium, and high. The low altitude clouds tend to kind of snuff out the color in a sunset, whereas the medium ones catch a little bit of color, and the high altitude clouds are the ones that kind of really pop and catch all of the color. So once we understand that, it's kind of figuring out how to predict it. There's a few tools that I use. There's loads of them out there, but these are just a few that I use. This one's a free app called Clear Outside, and it breaks down the total cloud coverage by low, medium, and high. You can see here the sun sets at 4 o'clock, and around this time, there's a nice bit of high cloud coverage, but not too much, and not very much low and medium. So that would probably make a good sunset. Cool, so that's that tool. Another one's called Meteor Earth. Does a very similar thing, but in more of a visual way. So once the app launches, it will show you your location. You can tap on the cloud and swipe up, and it shows you a visual representation of the different levels of cloud. You can switch each on low, medium, and high individually, and also use the little scrub bar down the bottom to move forward to the sunset time to see what the cloud coverage would be like.
Cool. And you find that to be pretty accurate, Matt? How is it?
Relatively. Like any weather stuff, it's not always perfect, but it'll give you a good indication anyway.
Yeah, right. Cool.
Cool. So there's one more that I use as well sometimes. It's just a free website called sunsetwx.com. And that basically shows you a heat map of your country. Red indicates the good sunset, and blue not so good. So that's quite a visual tool as well, quite handy. So the idea is we just kind of figure out if it's worth going out on any specific day, so you don't waste your time chasing bad sunsets.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. So obviously it's good to have a few locations up your sleeve. This is a free app. There's plenty of other apps that do the same thing here, like PhotoPills, for instance. But what I'm trying to figure out is the direction of the sunrise and the sunset, and then find locations where you can shoot towards the rising or setting sun. You can shoot in the other direction as well, away from the setting sun. You'll still get color, but the majority of it will be towards the setting sun. Cool. I'm sure everybody's used Google Maps for location scouting before.
Definitely.
But yeah, just obviously when you get this little guy and pull him out, you get the photospheres, which are pretty handy. So a 360-degree view. And also these are a pretty good thing to look for as well. And you obviously can see it's a nice clear horizon here. That's what we're looking for. Anything where it's a nice wide open space, clear horizon. You can see yeah, or you can go up onto a roof terrace, balcony, look for a top floor of a car park, any tall buildings, hills, beaches, fields, anything like that, where it's a nice wide open space. And yeah, it's good to have a few different spots ready and waiting just in case. So there'll be different weather patterns in each location. So it's good to mix it up a little bit. Cool. And then actually scheduling the shoots. If you have got the time to shoot all the way through golden hour to blue hour, allowing kind of 2 hours would be brilliant, or even an hour and a half. So you at least get sort of 30 minutes to 45 minutes of golden hour, sunset, twilight, and then blue hour. The most color will be just after the sunsets, maybe 15 minutes after. Yeah, and obviously allowing a bit of travel time too. And once you've got a few shoots in the bag, sort of 3, 10, that'll start to build a pretty solid library. So it'll take a little bit of time, but yeah, worth the investment.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So on to the more fun part, actually getting out and shooting. So obviously using a tripod will be good because you'll be using longer shutter speeds. It's always good to shoot in RAW as well. Using ISO 100 to keep the noise down is a good idea too. And shooting somewhere around f8 is a good tip, just for the sharpest point of your lens, really. You're not really worried about depth of field. Yeah, just the sharpest point of the lens. Then yeah, once you actually shoot in the skies, it's good to include a little bit of the horizon or shoot just above it. That way you get the most usable sky. And also you get the nice clouds tapering off into the distance. If you did want to zoom in and frame a different cloud formation, you can definitely do that, but then you kind of lose the natural gradient here. So it's good to kind of add that back in post to make it look a bit more natural as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so when if you have a nice location where you have a wider view, sort of 180 or more, you can take a few shots from left to right, so left, right, center, for instance, and then you can go a bit wider or tighter depending on the sky and the clouds. Do the same again, then just repeat the process kind of every 5 to 15 minutes. All depends on how quickly the light's changing, how fast the clouds are moving, and that'll give you a nice series of similar shots where you can use on if you have a project where you have multiple exteriors you need to do sky replacements on. It's handy to have a few that are similar so you can yeah, make it look a bit more natural.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, and just in terms of thinking about how we shoot homes for sale or something like that, and you typically move from sort of left, center, right perhaps, and you want to adjust those skies just very slightly and sort of shooting then your skies the same way. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. And also the light as well, you can see it's coming from a slightly different angle too. So
yes.
Yeah, all good. Cool. And always good just to do a few portrait shots as well. Sometimes you need those as well, often people forget. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the actual shooting. Once we get back home, we can start organizing the files and put them together into some sort of structure. So obviously good to keep a backup always of any files, but I split these by time of day and then organize them by just groups really. So you can see these 5 are from the same sky, and there's just a bit of variation there. You'll figure out your own methodology. You may want to do it differently, but I found this easiest for myself. So daytime's quite self-explanatory. Golden hour, like I said, is the 1 hour before sunset, where the light's nice and golden and the shadows are long. Sunset and twilight I've classified by as the sun dips below the horizon and for about the half an hour afterwards, up until when the color leaves the clouds. And then when the color goes, that's kind of moving into blue hour. And if you decide to hang around long enough, you'll start to see obviously the moon and stars and whatever else. So but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So I hope that's of use to people.
Yeah, look, if anyone's watching and has any questions or anything about that, feel free to drop them in. Let me just jump out back to here. So if you've got any questions, drop it in. What I will mention though is just the amount of work that goes into creating something like that. It's not something that like you want to have a big library of images. It's not something where you just want to do once or twice, because then you're using the same images, the same sky shots over and over again for different projects. So it is something that you want to build up a really solid library. And what I will mention then, let me just click on here, is that you can do it yourself and you'll get an awesome library. Or if you want to kind of shortcut it, Matt has created a library of images that are available for you. So there's 615 raw skies. And I think that's really helpful, being raw images, because then you can actually make adjustments to them yourself. But you get them as JPEGs as well. So you can go to rawskylibrary.com, bunch of daytime, golden hour, sunset shots, blue hour, night skies, bad weather skies, just everything there, if you want to go and check that out. When Matt shared this with me and I looked at the price and went, actually, that is pretty awesome value, because if you think how long it would take you to shoot 600 plus skies, I mean, even if you did 1 minute per sky, which is probably unreasonable, but you know, if you're super quick, maybe, but a minute of sky is like, that's still over 10 hours of work to go into that. So 10 hours of work for $149 for skies. It's a pretty good deal to me. Did you want to add anything? Have I missed anything there, Matt?
No, I completely agree. Like I said, it does take a lot of time. I think I shot this over a kind of 2 or 3 year period.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it does take time, but once you've done a few, it does build up a bit.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely a bit of a shortcut there if you want to get access to mine. I did have about 1,500 or more, and I've kind of boiled them down to the best of and the most usable.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think that's great. What we can also do though today is give away a free copy of Matt's Sky Library. So if you are watching live, and you'll need to go and leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube now. So if you just want to drop an emoji or the hashtag Raw Sky Library, that would be excellent. I'm just going to give a little bit of time for some names to drop in. Quick question while we're waiting, Matt. Someone asks, let me see if I can find who that is. So just a note, if people are leaving comments inside a Facebook group, you will need to authorize and give permission for StreamYard to show your name on Facebook, because you're in a group and then showing it publicly. It's just one of those Facebooky things. So you'll need to authorize that, otherwise I can't see your name. So I've got someone saying, do you shoot or have 360-degree panorama image Sky Library?
Unfortunately not, no, but that's an interesting point. Maybe something to add in the future.
Yeah, I guess someone could though do that, couldn't they? Sort of then, and then be able to pull out a JPEG of any spot.
Potentially, yes. Yeah, I'm not 100% familiar with 360 cameras myself. Hasn't been something I've dabbled with, but I'm sure it'd be possible.
Yeah, right. Yes, kind of cool. So I'm just dropping so far, just waiting for people to leave a comment. If you want one, okay, I've got someone has dropped their name in. So I'm just going to wait a little longer. Anything else you want to add for some tips for photographers on going out and getting them, Matt? Like, what have you encountered, or maybe how often do you go out, and how much planning goes into going out and getting your shot?
Not a huge amount of planning, just obviously what we've gone through just there, and just being aware of how long it takes you to get to location, and just being a bit more spontaneous. I should imagine most people are self-employed like myself, and just working it into your schedule, really. If you look outside and you get familiar with recognizing the high altitude clouds, and you have a quick look at the apps, you can scan through and think, okay, it's going to be a good sunset. Have I got the time in my schedule to get out even for half an hour to get some sunset or golden hour shots? Or have I got a couple of hours to get all of them? And yeah, just being a bit spontaneous, really. That's kind of how I do it.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Ian. Let me just drop up. Ian said good tips for sky photos, so thanks for that. again, I'm just giving people extra time. We don't have too many entries yet for the free Sky Library. So just waiting for some more to drop in. Matt, where did you typically stand to get your, let me just wonder if I can just go here. Okay, where did you typically go? Like, where were your locations to get your Sky shot?
A few different places. There was just getting a little bit further out the city. There's a river and a big bridge where you can see onto the bit of a clear horizon.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
The place where I showed you on the map was also been up there before. It's a little bit further away though, so it took a bit longer to get there. But I've been all over kind of the city I'm in now, which is Vienna, but I've also traveled a bit. I enjoy landscape photography in my spare time, so often when I'm out with the camera, I just take a couple extra shots of the sunset rather than just the whole scene. And just having the camera with you when you're traveling is a good thing as well. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So you're just aiming to get up somewhere as high as you can.
Yeah, as clear as you can with the horizon. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, but yeah, just to try not to get it too jagged or a massive building in the way, and then you have to Photoshop it out or something. So.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just looking then at our users, I've got Flora. Hey, Flora, how are you? She is left interested in the Raw Sky Library giveaway, so I've got her in there. I'm just going to wait, see if anyone else drops theirs in. And also, does anyone else have any questions or anything about, or maybe some experiences that you've had in getting some of your own sky shots, or some questions for Matt about getting his sky shots? Anyone has anything there? Let me just jump in here and so people can see us. Oh, that's not what we want. We want to go with this one. No, we don't want that one there. We're on.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, still just going to see if there's any more comments coming in. We don't, so I think we're going to wrap it up. So I've got, as I go through to pick a winner, the only name I can see is Flora. So I think there's our winner. Oh, we've just had another question. Let me show you this up. Someone commented saying, I actually find it a bit challenging to insert sunset photos to my photo. We mainly have area that the sun actually set on the ocean. Right, okay. You've got a nice clear view already, I think is what they're saying. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, what were you going to mention, Matt?
I'm not 100% sure either, but is it the alignment and making it look natural with the different lighting perhaps, or if you're actually struggling with the masking, obviously Photoshop has the new sky replacement tool, which is pretty handy. That does a great job.
Yep. Yeah. Is that what you use? What are you using now? Is it the new Photoshop sky replacement?
It is pretty handy. Yeah, it does quite a pretty good job. Before that, obviously manual. There's tons of different manual ways to do it. But the sky replacement feature is pretty cool, and it does quite a lot of. It does a really good job. So there's no reason why you couldn't use that on most of the most sky replacements. You just need a little bit of refinement now and again, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah. So it's good to have the manual methods to call upon when you need them as well.
Cool. Cool. All right. Well, I think, let me jump on here. I think we've reached the end for today. So thank you everyone for joining in. Let me just skip over to here. There we go. So if you want to find me, I'm there at Facebook and Instagram, YouTube and LinkedIn. If you want to see Matt's library, rawskylibrary.com. And thank you for joining us today. We'll catch you on the next one.